Welcome to Plan Life Right, the podcast that expresses the financial secrets the elite don't want you to know. I'm Kevin Ross, and what I'm about to share with you in the next 30 minutes could literally save your business and make your family rich for generations.
I'm Matt Floyd. And listen, if you're driving right now, pull over. If you're at the gym, stop what you're doing because what we're revealing today is so powerful, so explosive that 87% of financial advisors will never tell you about it. Not because it doesn't work, but because they don't even know it exists.
Now, Matt, I remember back in 2008, I had a business owner, close friend of mine. Basically, it almost called me in tears. This guy built a $50 million company from scratch, blood, sweat, decades of his life. And his advisor that he was working with at the time, from one of the biggest firms in Wall Street, had him in, the standard mutual funds and in a basic 401k that he set up for the company. And you know what happened when the market tanked? He lost around 8 million in about 6 months.
And here's the part that'll make you sick, Kevin. While this guy was bleeding money, there was a solution sitting right there, a legal, IRS approved strategy that would have protected every penny and grown it tax free. His advisor didn't mention it once.
Yes, because he didn't know about it. And that's not just ignorance, that's the financial malpractice. But it's a wake-up call. Job numbers just got revised down by like 900, almost a million, 980,000 since last year. Manufacturing's crashing, unemployment spiking. So while Washington plays the games with the data, your business, your life's work, it's hanging in the balance.
Unless you know what we know.
The $2.8 million revelation.
All right, here's the bomb we're dropping today. There's a financial vehicle, completely legal, IRS approved, that gives you three massive tax advantages that 99% of business owners have really never heard of.
Hey, Kevin, before we dive in, let me paint a picture. You know that business owner you mentioned, the one who lost 8 million. You rebuilt his entire strategy using what we're about to reveal. The result, he's now generating $47,000 per month in completely tax-free income.
Yeah, that's over $500,000 a year, folks. That's tax free, over $500,000.
So, what is this miracle vehicle? It's called Indexed Universal Life Insurance. But here's the thing, we're not talking about your grandfather's whole life policy. We're talking about a sophisticated financial engineering tool that creates what I call the triple crown of wealth building.
Triple Crown, I love that. So let's break it down, Matt. For
All right, so the crown number one, that's your tax deferred growth. Your money compounds without Uncle Sam taking his cut every single year. We're talking about potentially decades of uninterrupted growth.
Yeah, and then crown number two, tax-free access. So through strategic policy loans, you can access your money without triggering a taxable event. So think about that. You could literally pull out $100,000 and owe zero in taxes.
And crown number three, this is the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, right.
The death benefit, tax-free transfer to your heirs, no income tax, and with proper structuring, no estate tax either.
Yeah, but but here's where 87% of the advisors screw up royally, in my opinion. They don't understand the MEC limits, the modified endowment contract rules. You mess those up and boom, you'll lose all the tax advantages. Triple crown becomes a triple disaster.
And that's why this isn't a product sale; it's financial architecture. We could call. Last month I had a client, manufacturing company, 12 million in revenue. His previous advisor stuffed him into a basic whole life policy that was performing terribly. We restructured using properly designed IUL. Kevin, guess what happened to tax-free retirement projection?
Matt, hit me with those numbers, man.
From 340,000 to 2.8 million.
Wow.
That's a $2.46 million difference in lifetime tax-free income. If you would like to have $2.46 million more in tax-free income, subscribe.
Right.
all because someone finally understood the rules of the game.
Yeah, did you hear that 2.46 million difference? That's not a rounding error, folks. That's a generational wealth versus living paycheck to paycheck in retirement.
The Golden Handcuffs Empire.
So, Matt, let's talk about the war that's happening right now. I like to call it the talent war. Most business owners are really losing this battle.
Oh man, this hits home. I've got clients calling me panicked because their top performers are getting poached left and right. LinkedIn recruiters are like vultures circling overhead, and now with AI, the recruiters never sleep.
Right.
They hit you up all night long now.
Yeah, so here's the stat that'll blow your mind. The average cost to replace a skilled employee is 150% of their annual salary. So for a $100,000 employee, you're looking at 150,000 spent in recruitment, training, and lost productivity.
And that's if your guy didn't take a bunch of your clients with him when he left.
True. Very
It could be even more than that.
Very true.
And that's also if you can even find a replacement. But here's where smart business owners are playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah, I call it the Golden Handcuff Empire strategy. Kind of too long, but we'll go with it for here. Instead of getting into bidding wars over salary, which you'll always lose to some deep pocketed corporation, you offer something they literally cannot match.
And because here's the beautiful thing about IUL for executive benefits, you don't have to offer it to everyone like a 401k. You can cherry pick your superstars, your rainmakers, your absolutely cannot lose employees.
So I'll share this. I got a client, auto dealership group. They've got 5 locations. His top sales managers. This guy was bringing in about 3 million in sales annually. He got offered just not that much, $20,000 more by the competition.
And what did you do?
Well, we didn't match the salary. We crushed it. Executive bonus plans tied to an IUL policy. Here's what we offered: 500,000 in tax-free retirement benefits, locked in for over 10 years. Plus, client got key person protection on his superstar.
So the employee gets a golden parachute and the business owner gets insurance protection. That's what I call win-win-win.
The competitor, couldn't even touch it. It's game over, man. Here's the kicker. That sales manager is now more motivated than ever because he's got skin in the game for the long term. This is why I tell business owners, stop thinking like an employer, start thinking like an empire builder. You're not just hiring in employees, you're building dynasty.
The Business Continuity Fortress.
Okay, so we need to talk about the elephant in the room, the thing that keeps every business owner awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling,
What happens if you die tomorrow?
or get disabled, or have a heart attack, or get hit by a bus.
Right.
Your business, your life's work, what happens to it?
Kevin, I've seen it happen. Successful business owners, $20 million company drops dead at 54. You know what happened next? His family had to sell the business for pennies on the dollar to pay the estate tax.
Because he had a buy-sell agreement with no funding, which I see a lot. It was like having a fire extinguisher with no water in it, and it's useless when you need it most.
Yeah, kind of like LA fire hydrants.
Yeah, right.
And term life insurance.
Right.
Please, man, most of these policies expire before you die. Within 2 years, 70% of them have lapsed, been converted, or surrendered. You're paying premiums for decades. Then when you're 65, 70, 75, when you're most likely to die and actually need that coverage, poof, it's gone. And now you're uninsurable and you can't even get coverage.
But an IUL, it's permanent, guaranteed. Here's the brilliant part. It's not dead money sitting in some insurance company's vault. It's growing, it's compounding, it's become more valuable every year.
And I call this the continuity fortress strategy. 3 layers of protection. Number 1, guaranteed liquidity for buy-sell agreements. Your partners can buy out your share without bankrupting the business.
Then number two, keep person coverage that actually grows in value, unlike term insurance that becomes worthless. This becomes more valuable as your business grows.
And number three, credit protection. Banks love seeing life insurance backing business loans. It keeps your credit lines alive and your business operating even in a crisis.
But here's what separates the amateurs from the pros, Matt. How you structure the ownership and beneficiaries can make or break your entire strategy. Most people miss it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get that tax structure wrong, and you could create a massive tax bill for your survivors. Get it right, you've built an unbreakable financial fortress that protects your business for generations.
Becoming your own bank.
Yeah, so this next part, it's going to sound like science fiction, but promise it's 100% real, 100% legal, and 100% proven.
What if I told you that you could become your own bank?
Favorite. It's not metaphorically, literally. What if you never had to beg a bank for a loan again, never had to fill out applications, provide tax returns, and wait for approval?
Never had to worry about credit scores, debt to income ratios, or some 25-year-old loan officer deciding your business's fate.
Yeah. This is the private banking strategy using an IUL. And here's how it works your policy becomes your personal Federal Reserve Bank. You borrow against your own money while it continues to grow and compound.
And I had a client, restaurant chain owner, needed $200,000 to expand to a new location. Bank wanted 8% interest, 3 months of paperwork, and his firstborn child as collateral.
So, what'd you end up doing?
Policy loan, 5% interest rate, money in his account in 48 hours, no credit checks, no applications, no underwriting. And here's the beautiful part, his cash value kept growing as if he'd never borrowed a penny.
Yeah, it's what's called the wash loan concept. The money you borrow continues earning the same rate. So, it's like getting a loan at 0% net cost.
But Kevin, let's be brutally honest here. This strategy can be dangerous in the wrong hands. Mismanaged loans can destroy a policy faster than a stock market crash. We all know how banks, which are trying to become your own bank, banks can take on some risky loans and they
Right.
can go failing too. So you got to keep your eyes on this.
So it's really why you need someone who understands the mechanics, the timing, the strategy. This isn't a set it and forget it. This is an active wealth management plan.
And when done right, though, you've got a permanent source of capital that no bank can ever cut off, no government can regulate, and no economic crisis can ever shut down.
So you think about it during COVID when banks were calling in loans and businesses were scrambling for cash, our clients were borrowing from their own policies like nothing happened.
And that's not just financial planning, that's financial independence.
The Dynasty multiplication engine.
Right. So let's talk about how do you enter the big leagues here? We're talking about generational wealth, dynasty building, financial immorality.
And most people think in terms of their own retirement. Smart business owners think in terms of their great grandchildren's retirement.
And that's where the IUL becomes something almost magical. Properly structured dynasty trusts using IULs can create wealth that lasts literally forever.
And we are working on a family right now, a restaurant empire, 4 generations in the business. Grandfather started with a single diner, built it into 47 locations across three.
You know what's the challenge? Estate taxes. So when grandpa dies, the IRS could claim like 40% of everything. That's 4 generations of work. Nearly half of it goes to Washington.
Yeah, not on our watch.
Yeah. So what you do is you structure a dynasty trust with multiple IUL policies. So here's what happens tax free death benefits flow into the trust, tax free income flows to the beneficiaries, and the principal keeps growing for the next generation. And here's the kicker this isn't just for ultra wealthy families. We've done similar structures for families with like 2 million, 5 million in assets. The strategy scales.
But the real power comes from what you call the multiplication effect. Each generation that follows the plan becomes wealthier than the last. We're not just preserving wealth, we're exploding it.
Yeah, I've run projections for clients where 50,000 annual contributions today becomes 47 million in tax-free wealth transfer to their grandchildren. That's not preservation, that's multiplication.
And it's all invisible to estate taxes, income taxes, gift taxes. It's like building wealth in a parallel financial universe.
The great advisor failure.
Now we get to the part that's going to make some people very uncomfortable. Why don't more advisors offer these strategies?
Because 87% of them don't understand business owners. They don't know how to talk to them. They're trained to sell products to individuals, not build wealth systems for enterprises. I was at an industry conference last month, room full of advisors, probably around 500, so they say. I asked how many understood the difference between C Corps, S Corps taxations for IUL strategies.
How many hands went up?
Maybe 17. I know it was under 20 out of 500. That's like three and a half, a little less than 3.5%. And these are people managing millions of dollars for business owners.
Yeah, it's financial malpractice disguised as expertise. They know enough to be dangerous, but not enough to be helpful.
Yeah, there's we talk to advisors every day. They're like, I don't believe in insurance, but they're calling themselves a fiduciary and they're not. It's really, you know, incompetence by the advisor because they don't want to go down that route. And
And I'll bet you every one of those guys has a life insurance, maybe even paid up.
yeah, or they don't even like their financial advisor should want to really look at the whole business entity and
Right.
structure it right. But again, that's a lot of work, and so there's a lot of people don't want to dive down into that. So as business owners, they can smell that incompetence from a mile away, I think. And that's why they don't trust, in a lot of cases, financial advisors. They've been burned by people who don't understand their world. So okay, yeah, you can take care of this investment part, but they're not doing the whole estate planning, which is what they should be doing.
Yeah, and I mean, coordinating CPAs, estate attorneys, understanding compliance requirements, that's not advanced stuff. That's just the table stake.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, you shouldn't be touching business owner finances.
Yeah, but here's what really gets me fired up, Matt. These same advisors will put a business owner in a basic portfolio that any robot advisor today could manage. They charge them 1.5% annually and call it comprehensive planning,
Meanwhile, they're missing opportunities to save their clients millions in taxes, protect their businesses, secure their family's future.
which is exactly why we build our advanced training programs. The advisors who master these strategies aren't competing on price or performance, they're in a category of one.
The wake up call.
So, Kevin, let's address the other elephant in the room. Someone listening right now is thinking, this sounds too good to be.
I get it. You've been burned before. Some slick talking advisor promised you the moon and delivered a handful of dirt.
But here's the thing, while you're sitting there skeptical, smart business owners are already implementing these strategies. They're not waiting for perfect conditions or perfect advisors.
Yeah, and those job numbers that I mentioned earlier um, at the start of this, it was like around 980,000 revision since the beginning of the year. That's just the beginning of all this. So where are we potentially heading to some economic turbulence that most people I know are not prepared for?
Yeah, but it doesn't have to affect you, not if you build your fortress now.
So because here's what I'll share with you what I know. There, being in this side of the business for 3 decades, just about. The wealthy don't get wealthy by accident. They don't stay wealthy by hoping things work out. They build systems, they create structure, and they plan for multiple scenarios.
And they act while everyone else is paralyzed by indecision.
So if you've got a choice right now, really, you keep doing what you're always done, which is what most people do. You're hoping your 401k grows, hoping the market cooperates, hoping Washington doesn't raise taxes or take total control.
Yeah, build your own economic fortress. Create your own tax-free income stream. Protect your business, your family, and your legacy.
So the window's open now, but windows don't stay open forever. So if you're a business owner and what we've shared today has it lit a fire under you, good. That fire is going to save you millions.
Yeah, go to planliferight.com. In less than 5 minutes, you'll get a personalized report showing how much tax-free retirement income you could generate, how much you could save in taxes over your lifetime, what your Dynasty wealth transfer could look like, how to protect your business with bulletproof strategies.
And if you're an advisor listening to this feeling sick because you've been missing these opportunities, there's still time to level up.
But only if you're serious about serving business owners at the highest level. This isn't about selling more products. This is about becoming a wealth architect.
The advisors who master this won't just survive the coming economic storm, they'll dominate their markets while their competitors scramble for scraps.
So here's my final thought. No, we're living through the greatest wealth transfer in human history. Trillions of dollars are going to change hands in the next decade.
The question is, will you be on the receiving end of that transfer or will you watch from the sidelines as others build the fortune that should have been yours?
No, this isn't about insurance, Kevin. This is about power. The power to control your financial destiny, the power to protect your family, maybe build something that lasts forever.
So the business owners who move today will own tomorrow. The ones who wait will spend the rest of their lives wondering what if.
And before we go, if this episode opened your eyes, do us a favor. Go ahead and like it, follow the podcast, and subscribe so you never miss our latest strategies.
So that's a wrap on today's Plan Life Right. I'm Kevin Ross.
And I'm Matt Floyd, reminding you that your future is too valuable to leave to chance, too important to trust to amateurs, too precious to waste on hesitation.
So until next time, keep planning your life right.